Before currencies and money existed, people used to trade animals, food, and time for other services or things. It wasn't until 5,000 years ago that the first currency was introduced, the Mesopotamian shekel. Since then, people have associated money with many things. Some think money is evil, while some think it's a force of good and makes trading easier. While not everyone will agree on this, nor the best methods to earn, save, and spend money, many knowledgeable individuals have shared their perspectives over time. When the world's fourth wealthiest person talks about money, it's wise to listen to what they say. Warren Buffett's simple yet powerful advice is, you'll never get around to saving money if you don't make it a priority. It also won't be there when you need it. But on the other hand, you'll never be sorry if you start and stick to a saving strategy. Everybody knows that the US has a lot of debt, and according to the Federal Reserve New York District, US household debt is currently 15.6 trillion US dollars. On the other hand, Japanese household debt presently stands at 2.86 trillion US dollars. This data tells us that Japan's household debt is about half of that of the United States, when the population is taken into account. So the question is, what's going on? To truly comprehend the differences between Japanese and Western views about money, spending habits, and personal finance, we must first consider Japan's history as a predominantly agrarian culture. An agrarian society, or agricultural society, is any community whose economy is based on producing and maintaining crops and farmland. Agrarian societies have existed in various parts of the world as far back as 10,000 years ago, and continue to exist today. Back then, Japan had a caste system. During wartime, this system was simple, but peacetime brought intriguing modifications. During peacetime, the merchant class, one of the lowest in the caste system, had a surge in commerce. Their initiatives helped Japan's economy grow. As a result, they earned money, and a lot of it. While money and influence are rewarded in the United States with prestige, successful merchants in Japan go undetected. Because of this lack of recognition, money and prosperity were stigmatized, and this stigma still exists in Japan. This powerful Japanese philosophy has kindled a new attitude toward money in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom. Many Japanese people place a premium on power and influence over money. Wealthy individuals in Japan don't flaunt their money because of the wealth stigma and the collectivist focus on fitting in with the population. In Japan, it's common to be neighbors with a multimillionaire and not realize it since their house looks like yours. Simply put, ostentatious spending is frowned upon in Japanese society. In contrast to the West, Japanese individuals have no societal compulsion to display their riches. It's not unusual in the United States to see people living above their means to project a specific image of themselves to the world. As a result, many people find themselves living paycheck to paycheck and unable to save money, resulting in substantial debt. The Japanese have very different spending patterns than Americans. The Japanese elite are not known for their extravagant spending. As a result, their wealth can increase, and they can live off the interest earned on their money and assets. Japan's upper elite prefers to live simple, thus benefiting their finances. Despite their apathy for opulent lifestyles, affluent Japanese people prefer to purchase domestically rather than overseas for things like vacations, fine art, and wine. This helps the economy by keeping money in Japan and in circulation. Other differences can be seen when looking at Japanese personal finance and spending habits. One significant difference is that Japanese children are taught personal finance from an early age. Their parents instill in children the value of saving money and the advantages of deferring gratification from purchasing. Japanese parents educate their children on the importance of saving and the penalties of not doing so. They also advise their children against taking out loans from others, including banks. As a result, Japanese youngsters begin saving money at an early age. Another noticeable distinction is that most Japanese transactions are made with cash rather than credit. According to Statista, in 2022, 40.4% of all consumer purchases in Japan are and will be made with cash. By contrast, US cash spending is 34%. Paying with cash has psychological advantages. You see, when you pay with a credit card, you don't see the full impact of the purchase on your accounts. However, with cash, you can see and feel the worth of what you're buying. This phenomenon makes you think carefully about your purchases. As a result, you become less willing to spend money, thus helping you save money. This psychological phenomenon helps explain why Japanese people are better at managing their money. This isn't to imply that Japan is better than the United States or that Americans aren't as clever. What it boils down to is a cultural and historical variable. Neither is exceptionally wrong or right, and both approaches have their advantages. One thing is apparent in this day and age. With the growing cost of living in the United States and the ever-present debt threat, now could be a good time to borrow a page from Japanese culture. We could all be saving a bit more money. The Japanese are known for Kakebo, their ancient and effective manual way of saving money. Kakebo is about more than simply saving money. It's about getting to know yourself better and simplifying your life. Kakebo is a three-principle accounting system. 1. Kakeh, Shsei, or keeping track of your money and spending. 2. Keshiki, Seiri, or organizing your monthly expenses into key categories. 3. Kakeh, Kaiketsu, or setting a suitable budget for each category. Kakeh, Shsei, why track your money manually? Although using an automatic budgeting tool may be more convenient, you are more likely to process the information you record by handwriting. According to a research published in Psychological Science, students who took notes in class using longhand were better at answering in-depth conceptual questions on a subject than students who took notes on laptops. Manually noting your goals, especially financial goals, can also help you attain them. For example, you create an easily accessible record of what you want to save if you spend a few minutes each month thinking about and writing down what you want to save. The act of writing something down can help you remember it. For example, as you write down your goal to save $100, you analyze it and begin to consider how you might accomplish it. This could be the catalyst for taking the steps necessary to achieve your goal. How can you include Kakebo in your life? Kakebo is based on a simple concept. In the same way that journaling your food intake gives you awareness of your eating patterns, Kakebo helps to bring attentive awareness to the budgeting process. Kakebo is a Japanese word that means journaling or documenting. Therefore, it works with pen and paper. The first step in Kakebo is to become conscious of your financial situation. This entails keeping meticulous records of your expenditures over a specific period. The goal is to integrate the procedure into your everyday habit, similar to journaling. Before creating a budget, most financial gurus advise keeping track of your spending and income for at least a month. The Kakebo practice is about keeping track of your expenditure and income. The 4-category spending habit system. A Kakebo is a basic ledger that many people find rather brilliant. After tracking your spending for a month, you may divide it down into categories. Kakebo allows you to keep track of everything you buy and organize your finances by categorizing purchases into 4 categories. 1. Necessities. Essentials such as food, toilet paper, and toiletries. 2. Wants. Items you want but don't need, such as a takeaway lunch or a new pair of shoes. 3. Culture, such as books, museum visits, and vacations. 4. Unexpected. Unexpected expenses, such as a doctor's visit or auto repair. The 4-category strategy can help you become more aware of your spending patterns and prevent wasting money on items that don't contribute to your objectives. What are the benefits of using Kakebo? Its focus on mindfulness sets it apart from other budgeting methods, making it an excellent fit for individuals who want to make sure their money goes to things that make them happy. For example, it encourages monthly savings goals that are achievable. It encourages saving small amounts of money every day, rather than large sums on rare occasions, and it celebrates little victories. However, it's necessary to remember that you may still buy non-essential items. Kakebo is about practicing awareness to avoid making purchases that will only provide you fleeting enjoyment. It doesn't matter if you want to get out of debt, save more money, or become a billionaire. All of these things need sound financial habits. Everyone wants to be in good financial shape. However, to be successful, you must have systems in place that describe the steps that will lead to positive outcomes. Who is Kakebo best for? 1. Households with children who need to learn about how household expenses work. 2. Fearful and reluctant budgeters. Kakebo is a master at dispelling the notion that someone is terrible with money. The strategy gives individuals more power and confidence by putting them in command of their spending. 3. Envelope budgeters. Kakebo's categories are similar to the envelope budgeting system, which involves pre-planning monthly costs and dividing set amounts into real or virtual envelopes. You'll probably enjoy Kakebo if envelope-style planning works for you. 4. First-time savers. The Start Anywhere method encourages you to save more. by celebrating even the smallest savings milestones. 5. Inconsistent budgeters. If you've ever struggled to stick to a budget, Kakebo's simplicity and flexibility could be the answer. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.